Welcome back to BunkaiGaming, this is Matt. So today I want to talk about The Division a little bit more. I've covered this in a few other videos, but I want to talk about the new upcoming 1.5 patch, the new survival mode, and some of the life that's been brought back into the game through the 1.4 patch itself, and how it's actually changed The Division as it is. I'm still playing it, I'm still actually enjoying it. I actually enjoy it a hell of a lot more now than I have in the past, but the improvements that the patch have brought are game-changing for the actual Division itself. It's allowed people to progress whether they're just playing with a group or with solo, and now even challenge modes activities can be soloed, and it's really allowing you to really move forward in the game. And it's opened up so many options to solo players especially, who now can progress, and they don't have this feeling that the only way they could get ahead is to try and complete end-game activities. And I now really enjoy going through and soloing the underground on challenge mode. It gives me a bit of a fun time, and it is challenging but still achievable now. The new loot system in the game is also incredible. It now gives you an opportunity to go chasing that piece of gear that you're particularly looking for, or maybe that gold roll weapon that you've been after. Now there's so many different ways that you can actually earn rewards through the game. It gives you an option that even if you get something you don't like, you can get rid of it, and there's at least a couple of other different activities that you can go out and do to give you an opportunity to try and get that piece of weapon or gear that you're looking for. Now sure, it's still RNG based, but you don't feel robbed now. There before 1.4 you may have done an activity for once a week that gave you that one piece of gear, and if you didn't get the piece of gear that you were expecting, you did feel very much that it was robbing you of that opportunity to get you something nice. But you don't feel that now. And even now, with the increase of Phoenix credits too, it gives people an opportunity, if they don't get that guard roll piece of equipment, to at least save up that Phoenix credits to be able to go to the different vendors and be able to buy something there. And the way they've revamped the vendors themselves too is also fantastic. Now that they stock high level gear, you know that if you can't get a piece of gear that you're looking for, you could at least go to the vendors and get something that's higher level to be able to progress you forward and try and get that piece of gear that you're looking for. I think this has made it definitely more fun and interesting in the game, because it makes the game more exciting to know that if you don't get an opportunity to get the drop you want, you still have a way to progress. Probably the biggest change that I was happy to see with the 1.4 update was the change to the NPC enemies themselves. They're no longer these endless bullet sponges where you're pumping entire mags into them just to wear down half their armor. Yet they turn around and basically down you in milliseconds when you're trying to kill them. And I'm finally glad to see that shotgunners have been balanced to a point where they don't feel like they're going to snipe you from halfway across the map. Now they are still lethal, but they're not as dangerous as they were prior. You have an opportunity, if you can back up, if you can give some distance between you and the shotgunners, you still have this opportunity to be able to take them down before they kill you. And this is a great thing. The way they've rebalanced the weapons, I disagreed with the actual change to shotguns. I think shotguns were in a very good place, but with all the balancing, I guess that had to come. But it was fantastic to see this change, and it's made, especially like the incursions now, a lot more fun, because there was nothing worse when you'd spent over an hour doing an incursion to then find out that you got sniped by a shotgunner coming down the hallway and wiped the entire group in seconds. There was nothing more frustrating in that respect. And from my perspective, the whole idea of a loot-based game is the players should be working for the gear that they're going to receive. But it shouldn't be also that one silly little mistake or overpowered NPC can basically come in and wipe the entire group in seconds. It's not how it is, because then all it does is it makes it a frustrating experience for the players. And it's about having fun and about enjoying yourselves, but also having that little moments of challenge when you know that you're going to get overwhelmed, be able to plan it out so that you can take that, work effectively as a team to be able to deal with those situations. that a lot of these changes will take effect into 1.5 and the new survival game mode. I had an opportunity to go onto the PTS service and try and play survival. Unfortunately, I must have been at the wrong time or wrong place, and I wasn't given that opportunity because they'd shut it down and weren't playing it. But I watched a lot of the videos and watched what a lot of people have been saying about it, and I'm very interested to see how it works and how it's going to play out. But there's a few things I think need improving for 1.5 to make it even better. And this is what us as gamers, we need to reflect back to the developers. And I think Massive has really listened and made a lot of adjustments to the game and listened to the community and how we've wanted to mold the game and make it better for ourselves. And they've done a really good job of doing that. But there's a couple things I think need to change. They're talking about named weapons and named armor upcoming in 1.5. And at present, the majority of the normal weapons outclass these named weapons. The named weapons are meant to feel exotic. They're meant to have these perks that are very unique. And I think the issue at this point in time is they don't feel that way. They feel still very lackluster. They feel not very special. And I think that needs to change. The other issue is actually getting access to these weapons. I know personally for myself, I think through the entire time that I've played the Division over the many months, I've only had 3 named weapons drop. And I can tell you now that of those 3 weapons, 2 of them were exactly the same. So really, in reality, I've only had 2 named weapons drop. So I know that you can buy some of the named weapons from vendors, but at this point in time, again, there's no special feel about it. They need to start increasing the drop rate a little bit. Give you a guaranteed opportunity to get one of these named weapons. Whether it's through an incursion or whether it's through some other activity, I don't know. They need to try and work that out. But give the opportunity for players to be able to get that named weapon and make it special for us. That's what we want to collect these weapons, or we want these weapons to be unique, special. Maybe they'll give us an opportunity that against certain enemy types, they're even more effective. This is what Destiny does, and I think this could fit very well into the world of the Division as well. Another change that's happening with the 1.5 update is the armor gear score is moving up from 229 to 256. Now I know this is a loot based game and the whole objective is to collect loot and continue to get people to grind through to get that loot. But it is very frustrating and annoying when you have to re-grind for the exact same gear that you already have. Now, from my perspective, you may spend days, weeks or months, depending on how often you play, getting a particular gear together for your character that has the right stats, the right amount of armor or perks or whatever it is, and then have it set up and then be taken away from you. And I guess this is the frustration that a lot of players are encountering, especially the casual players who don't play as much. They are probably getting more frustrated than anybody else that they have to go out and then get all this gear again. So you can see that it restricts the activities that these people can play in because they can't get access to the high level gear sets that they want because they have to go through it and regrind maybe 10 times, 100 times to maybe get that piece of gear that's close to what they had before. Now, I think this is another thing where the Division and Massive could look at what Destiny's done and allow players to basically what they call infuse or put high level gear into their lower level equipment to be able to bring it up to the new gear score. This would allow players to bring forward their favorite gear and have it at the maximum gear score. The stats would have to again re-roll to make sure that it was for the similar to what the new gear set are. But I think this gives an option for players to be able to bring that armor forward. Now this can be done through some kind of method, I don't know, maybe an armor upgrade token, and then they can put that towards upgrading a piece of gear. What you can do as a way so that it just don't upgrade all their gear at once is restrict how often you get those tokens. Maybe only give out 1 or 2 a week. Maybe make it so that they have to complete a certain objective to get one of these pieces of, or one of these tokens. And then that way, people will still grind for gear in the hope that they'll get that piece of gear they need at a higher gear score level, yet they still have an opportunity to bring the gear that they really love and enjoy forward as well in the game. So Massive has done a fantastic job of really listening to the community and turning the game from being a frustrating and annoying game to a very fun and rewarding one. And I hope to be able to give this feedback to Massive to be able to continue to improve on the game. And my hope is that it can become more rewarding and more fun, not only for the hardcore players, but also for the casual players. And it sort of proves the point that I've talked about in the prior, that we shouldn't write up games straight off the bat. That when we see a game in its vanilla state and it's not as good as we hoped or expected, we should take the time to go back and look at it later on down the track. I think any developer that really loves their game and really enjoys their game will take the time to be able to work on it and make it into a fantastic experience for people. If they're not willing to put that time and effort in, then the game deserves to die. It doesn't deserve to be continued on, because they mustn't have the passion in it to be able to go out and do it. And I think we can see when they're passionate or not about it. So we shouldn't write off those games, and we should take the time to review them again later on, because that game you thought was really bad and really terrible can be really fantastic down the track, and you may get back into loving it as much as you did when you thought it was coming out. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts and ideas are. Please leave some comments down below if you wish to, and I will talk to you in the next video. Thank you, bye.